Hello, you're watching Ellie from Ellymentry Papercrafting. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator here in the UK. I'm bringing you a new project with our Eden's Garden stamp set, and it's going to be a really quite simple card featuring the lovely designer series paper. It comes in 12 by 12 sheets and in all different greens. So here's the lovely selection. You'll see that some of the sheets are gold foiled. They are really beautiful papers. And as I said, they're 12 by 12. You get 2 sheets each of 6 designs. But as always, they are double-sided. Now, these are mainly 2 of our in colours this year, which are Evening Evergreen, the darker green, and Soft Succulent, which is the lighter one there. But they're also bringing in some of the other shades of green, and of course, as I mentioned, the gold foiling. So that's the first side, and then if I turn them over, try and turn them over gently, you'll see that they have different designs on the other side, and they are all absolutely beautiful. So that's what I'm using today, but I'm using little leftover bits. So if I just bring in the strips I've used, so when there's bits of paper left over, you can just cut them down into strips, and they can be any width. They do not have to be a uniform width. As you can see here, mine are all different. Now I've got 2 different designs here, but as I said, they're all double-sided, so I'm simply going to use each side of my papers. So I'm going to turn this one over and use that side. So as you can see, I'm going to use I don't know which is the right side and the wrong side. I don't know which is the flip side, the A side and the B side. It's whichever one you like, I think, really. So I'm going to use, trying to sort of just space them so that they're not uniform. They're a little more random, if you like. So let's move this one up, perhaps to here, and perhaps do something like that. So I've taken a piece of cardstock that measures 5.5 inches square, and I've gone ahead and I've applied some of our double-sided adhesive sheet. I'm not sure if these tweezers will work, but we'll give it a go. Yep. So if I just take a little bit off at a time, so that makes my piece of cardstock very sticky all over. So I'm just going to start, if I fold over a little bit of the backing, and I'm just going to start with my first piece, and that will stick really, really well. I'm going to leave a gap of roughly about 1/4 inch, but it really doesn't matter. These things don't have to be precise. We're using up scraps of paper, so it's just going to be whatever works for you on the day. All I want to do is create a sort of diagonal design with my papers. So just making sure that I do cover the edges like so. And it doesn't matter if you don't get your angles absolutely correct, because believe me, this will not detract from the overall appeal. And now I'll take the rest off and then place that bit there like so, and those are all stuck very firmly to our cardstock. So I'm going to take a large pair of scissors and just cut away down the side of these lines so I can get rid of all the odd pieces. So if I come in with my scissors now and turn the card over, I can really easily just cut down the edge there and make sure that all my little strips of card don't overlap the edge of my backing sheet here. Now all these pieces here, some people would just throw them in the bin, and yeah, you know, that's fine if you want to do that, no problem. But you can actually make another card with the scraps. Now I'm just going to add that tiny little piece on the end there, just to finish that corner off, like so. So I'm just going to pop all those bits in here. I've always got a little tray like so to pop little bits in, and although you might not think so, that little pot of bits has saved me a few times in the past. So just pop that away. So what we're left with is our arrangement of strips of paper and some white gaps in between, which, you know, doesn't look fantastic, does it? So what I'm going to do is bring in our Gilded Flakes, and they don't come in an ice cream container. This is just how I keep mine. It's a deep container and it keeps them down, and so they don't fly away too badly. So this is the Stampin' Up Gilded leafing, and it comes in the gold colour. And when you use it, it gives a sort of antique gold effect. It's really beautiful. This is heat and stick, which you can use to stick the leaves to your projects. But when you're doing a large area like this, the easiest way is to use the double-sided adhesive. Now, I'm just going to literally put my piece of cardstock into the container and immediately pick up some Gilded Flakes and stick them on. You don't have to be really careful and actually pick up each flake and put it carefully on. You can just do as I'm doing, put your whole piece into the box and just pick up the flakes. They don't have to be whole flakes. Particles that have been left over from projects you've used before will be absolutely fine. And then I use this old pastry brush because it's quite a firm bristle, and it will brush away any of the loose pieces without actually taking it all away. Might have just missed a little bit there, so you can just put a little bit more on if you've missed it, and then just that last bit to brush off, and I think we're there. Okay, so from a plain piece of white cardstock we now have a beautiful background. So quite an easy project to deal with, this one, nothing complicated really. And you can arrange your papers however you like. If you prefer, you can actually just having them going straight across. I just liked the diagonal effect. So then I'm simply going to stick the cardstock to the front of my card. I'm going to use my Tombow multi-purpose glue. So then I'm just popping that onto the front of my card. And my card base is 5 3/4 inches square. So that 5.5 inch mat fits beautifully on the front. I think you'll agree that that gold really looks gorgeous with the gold foiling in the cardstock. Now, with Eden's Garden stamp set, you can purchase the dies which go with it. These are absolutely beautiful. So I've used this die today, and I cut it out of the gold foil sheet, and it looks like this when it's cut out. So beautiful. And obviously it leaves a piece in the middle, a piece of gold in the middle. So I then use this die to cut out a further piece of gold. If I pop it on the white background, it'll show up better, like so. And then that, the piece that was coming from around there, I was about to throw it in the bin, and I thought, oh wow, that's a really sort of wacky shape. I'm sure I can use that somewhere. So I'm not gonna throw that away. I'm going to use that as well. So this one is simply going to go on the front of my card, and straight away you've just got a card front. So simple, but beautifully decorated with the lovely papers and that gorgeous gold die. I'm using my Tombow glue just to put a little bit onto the back of my die cut, and I'm just going to put it on the larger pieces. As long as there's glue on these bigger pieces, the narrower lines will be fine. Like so. And I'm going to pop that down in the middle. Because this paper is so beautiful and the gold foil is so shiny, you really don't need anything else on the front of this card. It's just beautiful as it is. So I'm just going to add a greeting to this card, and I think that will be enough for it. And I'm going to use the Happy Birthday from Flowing Flowers. This stamp set goes really well with Eden's Garden. And I really love the Happy Birthday from this. I love that font, and it will fit beautifully in there. These two, I did do a project with these the other week, and they just look so gorgeous. And I'm not sure if I want the Evening Evergreen or the Soft Succulent. So I'm just going to stamp it on both and see which one I think looks best. So just my scraps here of basic white cardstock. So let's see how it looks in the Soft Succulent. So that's the Soft Succulent, and that's the Evening Evergreen. I think I'm going to go with the Evening Evergreen. It will be slightly lighter than that one when it dries. And I think I'm going to use one of my dies from Ornate Frames. So that one fits on there really nicely. So I'll just go and get that one cut out on my die cut machine. So that's cut beautifully, and that will just pop in the middle there. I'm just going to mount it on a couple of dimensionals. So that's our finished piece. If you felt it needed it, you could also pop that bit maybe underneath, but I actually think it's enough with just this decorative piece here. So I'm keeping these for another project, that one and that one. This one I think would look really nice on a men's card perhaps, and maybe coupled with something like the oh, what's it called? Not the one I'm thinking of, but it might go nice with some of those designs. So that's my finished cards today. So just to recap, I used Eden's Garden dies and Forever Eden, which is the designer series paper, and some of our gilded leaf. So I hope you've enjoyed today's demonstration. If you'd like to purchase anything from the Stampin' Up catalogue, you'll find a link to the current catalogue and the mini catalogue and the celebration catalogue in the description box below. I'd really appreciate it if you would click the like button and subscribe button and share this video with anybody else you think would enjoy watching it. Thanks again for watching me today, and I hope to see you again soon. Bye bye for now.